Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is George Herrera with the Queens Home Team at Keller Williams Realty. In today's video, I'm answering a question that I came across recently from a homeowner who is thinking of selling and wondering if selling to a flipper or a cash investor is actually a good idea, or if investors, those all cash buyers, if they are actually reliable. So the question is, the main subject line of the question: I have a rental home in a highly desirable area that I want to sell. Are house flippers reliable? So they mention that they're getting all these text calls, letters. If you're a homeowner here in Queens, then you probably already have seen these. You get letters, you get postcards, you get little notes on your door, people calling, people knocking on the door. We'll buy your house all cash as is, right? So these are house flippers, which just means that they like to buy properties, fix them up, and resell them for a profit. Okay, so that's the key term, for a profit. So house flippers, right? Are they reliable? So the way that this question ends, right? The way that they finish is that, should I just list it with a realtor or take one of these flippers' offers, and how do I vet them? And that is definitely a good question, because house flippers here in Queens and in New York City in general, they're very common. You can come across a lot of all cash investors who are looking for properties to buy, fix up, and resell. Should you do it? So for us, in our experience, because we've met with a lot of homeowners, it's pretty rare when we come across the kind of property where this is an ideal property for an all-cash investor or a house flipper. And usually it's because it's in really, really poor condition. We typically will not suggest for a homeowner to go with a house flipper, because usually it means netting a lot less than you could if you put it on the open market. So something important to understand related to this question is that if you sell to a house flipper, no matter what the price ends up being, you just know that you most likely, unless the property is just not mortgageable, it's in really poor condition. Let's say that all major components are functioning, there's no active leaks, and the house is not in poor condition, then if you were to sell to a flipper, most likely you would be leaving money at the table. And the reason why is because house flippers have to make a profit, and usually the profit that they're looking to make once they fix it up and resell it is a substantial profit. So they make good profits on their flips, any good house flipper. So whenever you think of selling to a house flipper, you have to know that they have to buy the property below the market value, below what you could get on the open market. That's how they actually make a profit, right? So like, for example, let's say we meet with a homeowner and the property needs some work, but the major components are working, there's no active leaks, all utilities and taxes, everything is paid on time. So for a property like that, it is mortgageable. You could sell it to an end user, and an end user could take a renovation loan, or if they're handy and they have family in the business, they could fix it up. But it's not the kind of property that would need it, where it would be necessary to have an all cash buyer. It's very rare, but sometimes we do sell properties where you can't get a mortgage on it and you absolutely need an all cash buyer. And those are the ones where you pretty much have to target the all cash investors. And those we usually price at a deep discount, because the price has to be so attractive that the investor or the house flipper can buy it, fix it up, make a profit, right? So it has to be an attractive price. But if the property can be mortgageable, if someone can buy it with a mortgage, then your ideal strategy would be to put it on the market, list it with a realtor, put it on the market, do your best to prepare it. Even if you just sell it as is, it could still be better. And then you're able to list at the actual market value, and most likely you would be able to sell for more than what you would sell what you would sell for to an all cash investor or a house flipper. Our suggestion is always definitely you can entertain the offers. What you would want to do if you're in a situation like this, I would recommend you get a few realtor price opinions. So you meet with a few realtors, even if it's 2 or 3, and then you find out, what do you think this property could sell for on the open market? What do you think where do you think the offers would come in? And what would be your suggested list price if we were to hit the market? Once you have that, then go and entertain some all cash offers from house flippers. Most likely you're gonna see the big difference. Okay, so the difference will most likely be very big in that the cash offers, the house flippers offers, will most likely be a lot lower than what the broker price opinions are. And that's where you can see that discrepancy, and you decide whether it makes sense for you. If you absolutely don't want to deal with it, you don't want to deal with the headache, you don't want to deal with having to have someone get approved for a loan, then by all means you can definitely sell to a house flipper, and there are definitely reliable house flippers in Queens. If you need recommendations to some reliable, reputable all cash investors in Queens, then you can definitely reach out to us. We have investors that we work with that we know and we trust. But there are definitely reliable house flippers out there. The question is, do you want to take that big hit on the price that you can get on the market? And only you can decide that. But if a property is mortgageable, if you're able to put it on the open market, and if an end user or a buyer who isn't looking to flip the house actually is able to purchase it with a loan, then that's the way to ensure that you get the highest price possible. Because someone who's not buying it to flip will always pay more than the buyer who is looking to flip it. Because the person who's buying it to, let's say, live in it or rent it out, they're not looking to make a quick profit on the back end real quickly. Whereas a house flipper, they have to buy it, they have to renovate it, they have to market it, resell it, and they want to make a substantial profit to compensate them for that time. So their offers almost always will be a lot lower than someone who is actually looking to live in it or hold it as an income property. So hopefully that answers the question. You know, are house flippers reliable? Yes, there are reliable house flippers and cash investors, but you definitely need to do your due diligence, because there are a lot of house flippers or potential house flippers who are out there just looking for deals, and then once they get a deal, then they scramble to find the money. So they don't always have the money liquid on hand ready to deploy. Many times they're just looking to negotiate an accepted offer on a potential flip, and then once they get an accepted offer, then they start scrambling to find the money or to put the money together. But if you need, like I said, if you need a recommendation to some house flippers, all cash investors, definitely reach out to us. We have really good people that we know and we've done business with in the past that we would feel confident recommending if you did want to get an all cash offer on your property. But at least now you have an idea of the situations in which an all cash investor might be the ideal way to go, and what kind of situations might not warrant that, and where you might actually still be able to get the highest price possible without having to sell at such a discount to an all cash buyer. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. If you have any questions related to this topic or any other topic, feel free to drop them in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching, y'all. Stay tuned for the next episode. Take care and have a great day.